Test one, two, three. Test one, two, three. How's everybody doing on this Thursday night? Hey, it's me, Aaron. I'm back. Thursday night in the Ninja stream. Didn't plan on this, but was working on some stuff, and I was like, well, man, I should just stream this out. Not working on a normal app I'd work on. Couldn't spit this. Come on, give me a second here. Get a little hydration, a little Sprite here. So I've got an interesting thing I'm working on. Concept. Got a Maui.NET application I want to work on getting this device discovery working on. And I need to get it running on multiple devices. What the heck is this device discovery? Oh, that's a good question. Device discovery allows me to do things like have an advertiser that says, hey, you know, I'm 1 second here. I was checking my CPU. By the way, man, folks, I'm running a Mac Pro, but I didn't realize this, but Streamlabs, that's what I use for streaming, has a ARM version, and I was running the Intel version, and it was killing my computer. And now it is nothing. The ARM version doesn't do anything. It is a night and day change. If you're using a Streamlabs, man, check and make sure you have the ARM version. I can't describe how much of a big change that is for me. So that's awesome. I'm very happy about that. Let's see here. So I've got an Android phone here. It's a turd phone. This is one of those what they call throwaway phones. All the kids call. This would be an A15. It is or A52, something like that. I don't remember the model. It's one of these ones you buy for like $80. They call them, we used to call them burner phones. And I'm going to try to get Visor running. Visor. Should have Visor installed, right? Visor is a program you can use when you're doing Android development to see your Android device screen on your Mac. And it is bad ass awesome. And for the love of God, I don't have installed Visor. Let's get this installed. Let's go. I can't believe I don't have this installed. What's wrong with me? Wow. That is unbelievable. I must have not installed it when I reinstalled it. It's not been that long since I've done a physical Android development, has it? Downloads. Get this up here. I already have it downloaded. It's already installed. Okay, it's universal. Let's get this launched and get this party started. It's gonna make me log in the first time I know that. I bought it years ago, because it is a great piece of software. So let's go here and let's see here. See, yep. So this is what Visor looks like, and it says, hey, it already sees my phone, and then you can log in here. And if you log in, you get all kinds of cool features. So I'm gonna log in. I'm gonna sign in with the Googles, with the Gmails, and that should copy this and return back to the desktop. I'm licensed. I'm now not a criminal. I own a copy of this, and it's pay these guys. It is worth it's worth every penny. I want to view this device. Allow. There it is. Okay, it's pretty cool. But that doesn't seem right. That is what? Wait, no. Wait, yeah, enabled. Nope, this isn't right. This is an emulator that I have running. Yeah, this is an emulator I have running. Visor sees the emulator. It doesn't see my let me turn the emulator off. It's seeing this emulator. It doesn't know the difference between a physical device and emulator. Let me see here. I've got make sure your Android USB debugging is turned on. That's a good point. It's telling me that you gotta make sure that that's done, and I bet you I forgot to do that. Let me go back in here. It's been a while since I've even booted this device up. It's been a hot minute since I've done Android development. I'm gonna go into settings on this device. I know you can't see it, but just trust me. Geez, it's so slow. Settings, and then it's then under about phone. No. General management. We gotta turn on developer mode. You turn on developer mode by clicking a thing inside of the about what version of the operating system is. You click that like a ton of times, and it says, "Hey, if you do this 5 more times, you'll be a developer." Let's see here. That's not it. Software information. This is where it used to be. This is running Android. All right. Enter my pin 003. Should tell you what my pin is. That's probably bad, right? I'm a developer now. Holy crap! Hard to believe that. All you have to do is tap the version of the operating system a bunch of times, and you're a developer. That's sarcasm. Enable USB debugging, please. Yes, that would be wonderful. Okay, USB debugging is turned on. I need to also, let's see here. Debugging USB should be all it takes. Developer mode's on, and this should be starting to show up. Let's click this, do this. See if our phone. There we are. Hey, look at that. We're seeing it now. There we go. Let's see this. Click to allow USB debugging. Always allow from this computer, please. I would love that. Installing Visor onto my device. That's exciting. That's very exciting. Check Visor. Hey, look at that. You're seeing my physical device now, and now I don't have to have it like there anymore. Oh, Bigsby, I hate you. Would you like to? Yes, I would like to enable high quality. Yes, I would like to have all these things enabled. You are very nice, Visor, for doing that. Let's just double check the software version. Make sure that we've got this thing up to date. Check for software update. No network. Oh, well, that's going to be a problem. Let's fix that. Next, settings, Wi-Fi, right? Let's go to network, connections, the Wi-Fi's, add a network. Why can't you see my network? There it is. I'm going to take this off strings so you can't see my network password. Oh, is that it? I'm guessing. My guess worked. Checking the quality of your internet connection. We're connected to the dog pound. That is sarcasm for my wife. We have some dogs. Oop, I instantly clicked away from that. Let's get that back. Now we can do the software update check real quick. Checking for new system updates. It's been a while since I've used this phone, and I want to make sure that I can't say, oh, it's because the operating system wasn't updated, the reason why all this snaggles doesn't work. Samsung doesn't give updates worth of crap on their devices. I don't think there's one available for this thing. It's old. It's about 3 years old. It's running Android 13. It's a miracle it's running that. And that's a pretty new version of the operating system, and Android's pretty bad about that. So I'm going to say, oh, wow, there is a software update available. Download. What? Okay. It's downloading. Okay. While it's doing that, let's go take a look back in Rider Land and see if we can get this puppy to run on the Samsung. So let's go to the advertiser and run the advertiser on this Samsung phone. That should work. Go back to Visor here and see. I mean, it's smart enough where it should be able to do software updates and the other at the same time. So what the heck am I trying to do? I'm trying to get a .NET program. So I've got an advertiser here. And then what I want to do is I want to also run the browser. And run that on my Mac. Oh, I can't run two builds at once. Well, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry for being so pushy here. Let's do this. We can run the browser via terminal. We don't need Rider. Rider, if you wanna work for me, I will do it on my own. All right, let's see. Let's get into the proper library here. CD. What is this called? What is this called? Net MSD. Let's go here. Just wanted to make sure it wasn't a work project. C browser .NET run. I guess I could just be unimpatient and wait for this Android app to run instead of being such a impatient person. Let's put this back up over here for right now. We may need that in the very near future. Well, that's definitely an Android app running in .NET, let me tell you, because the Logcat's going bonkers. What application's running? Now, this is what I expect from a from a third Samsung phone. All right, let's get into this. What the heck is running? Wow. So it says it's running, but man, it is doing some shoots. I don't know what it's doing here. Let's just stop it from running. Get back to Visorland here. See. And this phone is horked. Oh, it wants a pin. Oh, yeah, I gotta fix that. That's what's going on. It's mad about pins. All right, the app is running. So I've got to tell the phone what is it? Time lock. It's the lock screen timer. Oh, I'm never gonna find it there. I'm gonna have to find it in here. This phone's too slow. Let's see here. Lock screen. Let's see here. Pins find, lock, secure lock settings. You turd. It's a development phone, man. 30 minutes is fine. Okay. So what I wanted to do was I wanted to get my .NET advertiser program running here. Oh yeah, I forgot. We got to get dark mode turned on because I have it hard coded to white. Dark. Come on. There. As you can see, this phone is ridiculously slow. Source is running to true. Okay, that's good. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go to the browser. And I have the service advertiser also running on this Mac application. And what we're hoping to see is that we can send messages between multiple devices about what devices are on the network running a service, a mobile app service. And then I can use that to talk to the apps to each other directly. you're thinking that's pretty cool, I agree with you. Why does this thing keep I do not want the screen to time out. Stop timing out screens. And where is my browser app? It's still trying to run. I gotta figure out the timeout thing. Let's take a look at that. Google Samsung 52. Change timeout for going to sleep. Okay, it says here, go to home, go to settings, go to display. Display. From here, go to screen timeouts. Change this to 10 minutes. Okay, where's my .NET program running? There's advertiser. And there's browser. I wonder if I can see what IP address this phone has. It's 149 right now. 192.168.0149. The advertiser's running. Wait, there it is. There it is. 149, right? That was what it was before. I mean, that's it. I'll be extremely static if that's it. I'm going to have to figure out a way to make the devices unique. That's it. Look at that. So I'm able to see that my .NET Maui application's running on both Mac OS and on Android. And then I know that I could technically speaking connect to these guys on that port and transfer information peer to peer. That is the goal of what I wanted to accomplish. That is pretty cool. And that's pretty easy to make that. So this is way easier than I thought it would be. I've done this a couple years ago, but I don't remember. I don't remember much about it. Where is Slack? Now I need to tell some homies from work that I got this figured out. The browser app. So how does this work? The browser app is looking for nodes that are broadcasting out messages, and we'll go over the code. And then the advertiser is the one that's advertising out app. 1 second. All right, so let's go through and talk about what the heck this is and how does this work, because that's really interesting. So if you're looking to figure out like network discovery, let me show you what's going on here. So let's take a look at the advertiser first. All the business logic. So first of all, this is a Maui application. The UI is done in XAML. There's not much to it. There's a list. Okay, there's a button. We have a button here that basically says run a command on the view model, and then we'll get into that in a second. We'll get into the binding there. The binding's done in C#. So we got a grid, we got a button, and we got a list of information. That's all the advertiser has. Behind the scenes, the main page has got a view model that it creates, and then it binds to the view model. All the business logic's done in the view models there. So let's look at advertiser view model. So here, how does this work? So we have two things. We have the service profile and service discovery. Okay. A service profile is just saying, I want to set up a service running on this device that I'm going to launch out, right? So you need a unique name here. That's going to be one of the problems, right? You want to have this probably a unique device name. Now, Apple stopped that. So you should have an instance name, right? This should be unique. This is the service name, right? So CB Lite stands for Couchbase Lite, right? Because what I'm trying to do is this is peer-to-peer. Really, this should be something like I should change this to be something like peer-to-peer host, right? So CB Lite peer-to-peer host. But I don't remember if domain names can have upper slashes or lowercase. Let's check that out. DNS. Can we have that? Standard DNS name includes dashes and hyphens. Underscores are not included. The computer says no. So we can't do that. We can't do that. We cannot do the underscore. So we have to do. Oh, but this is service records. They do allow underscores because they're right here, but I think that tells it's a hidden thing. You know, we could just do it all as one. Boy, it's easier to read when you do this. Will this work? Let's find out. Let's change this to be CB Lite dash peer-to-peer dash host. Or actually just peer-to-peer. Well, I guess we don't need it then. CB Lite peer-to-peer. That's what we're going to do here. We're gonna say we have a service called CB Lite peer-to-peer. We're going to broadcast out. We need this to be to do. Let's do a to-do. Generate device ID to make it unique. I don't think we need all three of those slashes. And Apple's got something for this. Android's got something for this. The API for Mac OS and Windows is going to be the trick. The API for this would be an Apple. So Apple used to give you a unique ID, an E, like this EID that was like the device embedded ID, but people were abusing that device ID, so they took that away years and years ago. I mean, we're talking like 2017, 2016. I don't know, maybe even longer than that. I've been doing this a long time. I don't remember what it happened, but I remember We used to do that. We used to log a bunch of crap, and then Apple got really serious about security. It's like, you can't do that anymore. So it's like, now you can get an application level ID though. That's like unique. That makes it a unique install. We want to know that. So when we're getting a list of our peers that we want to be able to sync information back and forth from, we know which ones are which. You know, this Android device is different than this. We can tell by the IP address, obviously, but we want to be able to do more than just that. So let's see here. So we're going to let's see here. For right now, I could just generate a GUID. Do I give a shit? Pardon my French. But the GUID I have to save in local storage because I don't want it the next time the app starts to have a new ID. So I kind of want that to be unique, but I want it to be unique for the device itself. The ChatGPT. We'll ask the Copilot. What does the AI say to do? Here's how to do it. Check if ID. They're saying use a GUID, but then they're saying also set it to. They're saying check if the unique ID already exists in the application setting, so it doesn't generate a new GUID. We could do this. We can make a. This would be on the advertiser. Yeah. Let's go back here and say we want static string. Using we gotta get that NuGet library. All right. I don't remember if you have to do a startup for that or not. That was wrong. Is it still not installed? Essentials. Huh. No essentials. Says it's installed. That's really it's not a function. let's see here. We'll call it unique device ID key. Probably wants this renamed. What else does it want? Okay. If there we go. App preferences service. Now let's see if this works. What we could do is say so that'll give us a unique ID for each one of the apps, and then we can use that also to display in the app what its ID is. So let's do that. Let's make sure that we add that to item data here. So we can say item data dot add and we'll do a string interpolation here, give it a little magic device ID. Perfect. Now when we run the advertiser, we should be able to see unique ID on this. Let's run the advertiser again. Do I have the advertiser's already running? Let's close this. And then the browser is still running. We'll restart browser 2. Rebuild times, not great. Not great. And Riderland. Hey Nick. Late afternoon stream. Yeah, I have. I was asked to look into something that I did a long time ago, and I was like, yeah, I probably know how to do that. I probably just don't remember. And so what I'm trying to do is get device discovery done, working. This device discovery between multiple platforms. So this is in iOS called Bonjour, or they call it Auto Discovery Service. But it's mostly called Bonjour. That's how AirPlay finds things. So that's how your phone can find your Apple TV and stuff. All this done is under this device discovery protocol. Well, that device discovery protocol, believe it or not, is open source, and it's based on DNS. And if you know what you're doing, you literally can get this running on Android and iOS. So I've got a Mac app here, and I'm going to start my advertiser. It's going to basically say, I have this unique ID I'm running now true. And I'm going to go to my browser. My browser is going to allow me to see who's advertising out messages. And I can then pick those up. And then I have a physical Android device here also that I should be able to do the same thing on, although I'm going to have to do a new build to it because I changed some code out here real quick. But the theory would be is that once you know all the devices running your service, you can transfer data between it. And that makes it pretty badass awesome. You can do basically peer-to-peer networking. So see here, here's the browser. Now the browser does take some time to start up, and I do have a very unique query in the browser. So let's go down over here is that the browser query is never going to work because I changed the name here. Shoot, I got to stop the browser from running because I'm going to have to restart it. I forgot I changed names here. So let's see here. That's the advertiser as a browser. The browser will never find anything because the browser's got hard-coded. Let's go back up and take a look at the first query we have. We're looking for anything that has this in it, right? The query of this, but that I changed that the advertiser now does a service name of this. So this is what we got to look for instead. I wanted to make it a little bit more unique. So it's Couchbase Lite, CB Lite, peer-to-peer, or P2P. So I'd have to say that it is that. Local is just how it works. Everything's local. So like if you're looking for an Apple TV on a network, that's called appletv.local. And iPhone AirPlay would be _AirPlay dot local. It just means local network. It's by theory, as long as my advertising is advertising out on CB Lite peer-to-peer.tcp, the .local is added as the final part of the host name. Oh, very cool. You're pointing at App Division Pro. That is badass awesome. Let's do this now. So I've got the advertiser running right. Let's go back to advertiser and run that. I don't need to debug it. Oh, it's already running. Well, turd. Guess we're going to run it a second time. All right, it's running. It didn't have to rebuild, so it ran pretty fast. Browser. Now, browsers are going to be a little bit different because I changed that code now to look for CB Lite peer-to-peer, so it's got to rebuild. So here goes a lifetime of my time to that. And then Android, well, that's over. Oh, the visor. Oh, browser actually started pretty fast, actually. The visor. Oh, there's visor. Allow. Oh. There we go. Let's close this out. Android's going to have to get rebuilt. Let's check on Android, though, to see how our software update was going. We're trying to get it updated because I haven't used this phone in a really long time. Software updates. Check for software update. Install now. All right, it's going to update the system real quick. While that's happening, we'll go through and see if we can get our browser working. So what we want to be able to do is browser debugging, though. Where's browsers view model? Let's take a look here at the messages coming in. Let's debug browser instead. So I need to close browser to tell browser to run in debug mode, because that way I can hit some breakpoints here. So let's see what kind of messages we got going in. So that should be right. The query there should be right. It does take about 30 seconds for the messages that get picked up by the browser. The advertising service has got a certain timer that it ticks off and rebroadcasts messages out. It's not like every second, otherwise your network would be flooded with that, right? So there's a little bit of a delay where the service has run for a little bit before you pick up a message. A little hydration here. Let me make sure is the advertiser running? Advertiser should be running. Let's see. That's browser. Where's advertiser? Oh, advertiser isn't running. Let's start advertiser. Now it's running. It'd help if I started the advertiser. So we're hoping to get a breakpoint here. If we get a breakpoint, that means that we hit a message. Now I am querying messages, so there's a little regression there that I'm not scanning every message. So obviously one of the problems is that if that query is wrong, browser will never hit this breakpoint here for the messages, which is bad, right? Now I had this working before, so I know the only thing I've changed is that. So if I were to go in here and take a look at the advertiser, just make sure I have that right. CB_CB Lite peer-to-peer ._TCP. And that's the port, and browser should say the same thing. It should say _CB Lite P2P ._TCP .local you have to add on. But I haven't hit stack trace yet. That is a bummer. It shouldn't take. I don't remember it taking this long. Check browser again. Guess we'll wait for this Android phone to reboot, and then if that, we'll try it on Android also. I mean, all I did was change the service name. Shouldn't do anything. The only thing I think of is that well, I can run the a browser that tells me whether or not it's running or not. Give me a second here. Um, I've got a non-Maui program that does that. Where is it? NET mDNS browser. So let's see here if it sees it here. So yeah, it's definitely running because this is the program that just kind of runs and looks at everything that's going on in the network. So you see here, this is everything that's running on here. So SSH is running SFTP, AirPlay, Remote Desktop, Companion Link, Stream Deck. So the Stream Deck that you use here from Elgato, that's using this protocol, right? That's pretty cool to know. Obviously, we've got our CB Lite peer-to-peer, so that it's definitely broadcast. So you can see the servers here. And you'll see here, there's the instance of it. So I see it here in my browser here, which tells me we're browsing out. So now I just have to figure out why my .NET program is not picking it up. We can check though, because we know that this is the right here is the service, right? So it's the GUID ID dot CB Lite peer-to-peer underscore TCP dot local. So we know that that service is running. So if we go into our browser code, we can just double check that that name matches. So it's underscore CB Lite peer-to-peer dot underscore TCP dot local. So that is right. That is 200% right. Why is my browser on the command line finding this so much faster than my browser in Maui? Like the command line site instantly. It's a little concerning. Start the advertiser again. See if maybe that's what fixes it. So how hard was it to do your Vision Pro update? Curious. And also, do you have a physical Vision Pro? I mean, I've looked at getting one, but they're super hella expensive. I could buy a lot of stuff for $3,500. I mean, I could buy like another Apple Studio monitor for that kind of money. It's like, oh boy, I don't. That's a lot of money. I mean, I really want a Vision Pro. That sounds like it'd be such a cool device, but I don't think that that's worth my the money that I'd have to spend on it, to tell you the truth. I just don't. Come on, browser. It's weird that the browser, like I say, now I am telling it to look for messages first. Instead of instances, right? Because I'm doing a network interface discovery, so I'm sending a query to it, to interfaces. So does the instance show up here? Let's take a look here. So it's taking the host name. Most of these are taking the host name instead of my solution, which was to use a GUID. I don't think host name's a good idea for my, but it's being broadcasted here. I mean, I can see it right here. This is the host. And then here's the service. The service is, well, the service starts running here. Here's my host records. It's broadcasting out. I have two different IP addresses because I have Wi-Fi and Ethernet. Got a bunch of IP6 IP addresses for various reasons. Um, and then I look here. Here's my host being broadcasted out. So I know that I'm seeing it. You can see here that I'm seeing all the broadcasts out on each one of the network interfaces. So I know that in this version, I'm seeing it. But in Maui, not. But here I'm not doing the same type of query. Here I'm doing a network interface discovery query, which the only thing this could be is then a typo, but CB Lite. And it should be anything running CB Lite. Let me just double check. CB Lite peer-to-peer. TCP.local. That should work. And the advertiser, I can stop it and tell it to start running again. Browsers should be picking up these messages. Totally not worth the money. No Vision Pro for me, just a lot of UI tweaks. Totally not worth the money. Yeah, I mean, if that was half the price even, I would highly consider it. Right? I mean, if it was like $1,500, I could see myself getting behind that. But for $3,500, you can buy like a Mac Studio, a really, really nice Mac Studio, and have one hell of a piece of hardware for doing software development. Back when I used to do mobile at EY, I mean, they would have probably bought us one. So, I mean, kind of spoiled and used to that old world when I used to work on mobile there, where they used to buy us the hardware that we use, and I have to buy it myself. And with the tax system these days, you can't even write it off. So it's not like something I could write off unless I started a consulting side business again, and then it would be a conversation about a write off. But I don't have time to get the current stuff I want to get done, let alone doing a consultant business. That just that ain't gonna happen. So realistically, I don't see a Vision Pro in my near future until I win the lottery, or I'd have to win the lottery, I think. I mean, obviously, if Apple gave me one, I wouldn't turn it down. Someone gave me one, I'd be like, oh, okay, I guess. Bend my arm. Ow, it hurts. Stop bending. But I'd take one. Got this Android phone here. I'm seeing if I'm a little bummed out that this is not working. I'm trying to figure out. I know it takes a few seconds, and it did last time. I'm trying to figure out should I put back some code I had in to get all stuff versus my code, my very complicated code here, which I was going to get into, like how it does it. I could just do a grab everything and load it in so I could see what the messages I'm getting are. Try to figure out why I'm not seeing these versus my very specific query. And I think that that's the next thing I want to do here. And browser is not even attached anymore to the debugger. That's great. What's load debugging the browser. Load debugging. And think about this for a second. So in here, wait. Load debugging browser. There we go. In this world, we would probably need to, let me think here. I think I got a code example laying around. Where is my query. Let's start with services. Oh, that's not good. Let's get back to writer here. Let's start by saying, I'm just going to look for all services. So I guess I could look for both, right? We'll say var sd equals service discovery. We need one of those. We make one of those down here, by the way. When we get a message back, well, I take that back. We're using multicast here, so we're not multicast services instead of a service discovery service. Multicast service will basically be able to get multiple interfaces, multiple things versus just one. But by theory, I could do a service discovery, and then I could just say service discovery, service, service. Oh, that should be new. Actually, I should do it like this. This is more readable. People read it right to left, or left to right. And then what we want to do is we want to discover, right? Service discovered. Yeah. We want to handle this event. So we're going to say whenever this event happens, let's get S and then a service name. And then what we want to do is run a lambda that, and so we know that we have our items. So we'll have to map this around the main thread because otherwise this goes goofy on us. So let's grab some main thread code here. And what we should be able to do is say, we'll add a message found service name. Okay. S dot. And what does S give us? I forgot. It's an object, but service name is not just a service name. It's a domain name. So service name dot actually to string it will just call if I give it this. Just do this and then we'll say debug date time debug. And then we should probably also change our messaging on this down here to give the date and time so we know when it happened. So let's go down here and do the same thing. We'll say date time now. Log. Okay. And then let's also do, so this is a service, and then let's also do it for instances, right? So we'll just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lines of code, 5 yank. Mac Studio is a great investment, dude, man. It is like one of my favorite things I've purchased in the last several years. We're gonna do the same thing, but for service, we're gonna do service instance, and this will be instance, and this would be instance dot this is going to give us everything. This will give us the main kit and caboodle. So this is where we literally could do the same thing as say give us a we want to know how many we want to know the service instance name. We'll say instance name has instance dot message, and then what we want to know is the answer and additional records. Answer count 3. Test 1, 2, 3. Testing 1, 2, 3. Audio should be back. Wow. Man, that thing, the Rodecaster, you have to reboot it after every session. I forgot to reboot it last time, and it just locked up again. Boy, if you get a Rodecaster Duo, I can tell you that it's a pretty awesome piece of hardware in this fact that you don't need a bunch of other shit with it. But man, it is very unstable. Very, very unstable. Rebooting a lot. Okay, well, look at this. There goes the Elgato. Oh, man, Maui. You, but the wrapping's not working. Text wrapping's not working at all. We can't read it at all. So we can't read the messages coming in. That is, I'm pretty sure this is us here. I'm pretty sure that's us. So this would be instance name, which means the code that's finding this is the instance name code here. What's not finding it is the query. So the network interface discovery is not coming up yet. Now, oh, I'm on a Mac. I'm not on a mobile device, but when I think I can just make the screen bigger. Okay. Okay. There we go. Okay, so CB-Lite peer-to-peer.tcp.local has one DNS answer of 14 digital records. It's exactly what it's supposed to have. And then inside of here is the A records, and here's the service records. So instance is finding it, but the query discovery is not finding it. So what is going on with my multicast network service query? Send query. Browser again, make sure. Oop. Oh, 1 second, I got a cough. All right, let's see here. I'm back. That is right. Underscore CB-Lite peer-to-peer dot underscore TCP dot local. And then the GUID doesn't really matter. The GUID is just what the host name is. That's right. I mean, we're getting an interface. So we know that and this is a network interface discovery, and this is an instance name. So we know it's being broadcasted out. We know right here. We do an instance discovery here of the instance. So we know that if we do a raw discovery and just say, give us everything without doing a query, let's just do this. Let's debug the browser and see if we get, here. So we're getting messages. Okay, so let's see here. What are we getting back? We're getting a, who's the event? Oh, that's just registering it. We need to get back here. So we're registering the event. Let's continue. Okay, so we are getting an event though. Nope. Messages, no. Wait, what's E? Okay, here we go. So we are getting a message right here. You gotta be kidding here. I forgot to change the freaking pointer record code. Guys, it's getting late. I've worked too long today. Right here's the problem. It's the freaking pointer record code. Well, all else fails. Put a breakpoint in. There it is. And then I'm missing the other P here. So I need to put, what I should be doing is hard coding. I should be using strings. What am I doing with my life here? Let's get these into as constants, right? Because we know that we have to use these multiple plays. Const or string service record name equals, and let's stop this madness of typing this in by hand and get this into a true constant variable that we can use, and that now we don't have to worry about the typos. Service record. Okay, and then there we go. And then the rest of this, there's no really, yeah, so the rest of this, I don't have hard-coded values there. This should work now. Well, good Lord, 20 minutes to freaking of stupidity here on my part of not realizing that I had changed it in multiple spots. And if I'd put this in a constant file normally, you'd do that and then call the constant file up from utilities. There we go. That's what we want. Let's see here. Hopefully. Wait, so this is log found. Yep, right here. So it even happens before the debug found. So here we go. We found the host name. We could connect to it. Here's its IP address and its port number. That's exactly what we wanted to see. Now, of course, we're debugging instance name because we got this debug code turned on to see all of them, right? And we should probably be able to turn on and off as we need to. But oh, our Android phone. We haven't stopped this game, right? So it's go to Android here. Get Visor open and see if that works also. So let's get Visor rocking and rolling here. Where's our app at? Advertiser. And so this will take a few seconds. I do know that the Android thing, it took, I don't know, last time it was about 45, 50 seconds. Oh, crap. It's not the new code, though. It won't work. I just changed the advertiser code out. Remember, I changed it out so that we would have unique IDs, because otherwise we're going to have problems with talking to them. So let's see here. Where is advertiser here? Let's do a build out to the Android device. Get a new build on it. Then it'll work. And I think I can feel good about myself that I got network discovery running pretty quickly on all platforms. Then I could throw an iPad on, and I could probably put the app on my iPad and then test the iPad too. I mean, why not, right? But this is the hardest thing to do is this discovery on Android specifically, and get the text records working. Those text records is where you can sneak little pieces of information in. Wait, why is this not installed? Oh, it's still installing. Install project. I am being impatient because it tells me here that it's trying to install the project, and I'm not just listening to it at all. That's my fault. I'm used to Macs where they run super fast, and iPhones, which they run super fast, not this super cheap and really slow Android phone that is just terrible. There we go. Now we have the device ID, so we know that it's good, 77 whatever. Now we can look for it here and see if the host entry comes in. Like I said, I do know that I remember last time this happened, it was about 30 seconds to 45 seconds before the Android device could see. Now it's Android runs on a network, a secret network between the host name and the device. It's like a 10 network, 10.0.2.2, I think it is. You can Google this if you had to. Android emulator network between host. I don't remember what it is. But there's directions on Google's website where they kind of explain this. And they'll give you the right here. These are the IP addresses. If you're using an emulator, that the emulator host will do between the emulator and your computer, which kind of sucks. But since this is just running on my Wi-Fi, technically speaking, as long as my Wi-Fi is working, Check the Wi-Fi settings. Connections. It is there. .pound is up. Connected. A few more. 49. It's running. Just waiting. And browser is still running. I should tell the advertiser also to tell me what it is advertising on. That would be really helpful, right? If we sent that out too. So let's see here. That's main view auto. Where's main view auto here? Yeah, we should do this. We should do the same thing we did over here. First of all, we should put this up somewhere. Oh, don't need main view model. We want advertiser here. We're gonna change this out to be service record name. We just gotta take the local out. That's what we want to do. That way we know what we're advertising out on. See if we're getting lucky here on browser. So I see 246, but I just don't see the Android device. And it's set to running true. Let's turn off the advertiser and do another debug to it on Android. Android doesn't seem to be great on the how long it takes to send messages out. I don't know why browsers stop running. Rider's not really great, I think, at running multiple programs at the same time. So let's see here. That's 8:30. That's exactly right now. So it sees instantly on my machine, right? Which, I mean, for the love of God, that makes sense. But it would take a few seconds for it to get Android up. Oh, let's see. What do we got here? There it is. There's Android. So it is. So some kind of timing thing. I'm not sure. But that's working now. So now you can see here, I've got my log from, this is my local device running. Here's Android running it. And we can see here, those are different hosts. You can see this is the device here, this is the device here. So literally, I now have it where I am able to talk to all these devices without very little code. That's pretty cool. So it's, I guess, let me show you how this all works. So this is all magic of DNS. Like I said, and one of the cool things we could do, I guess, is put a breakpoint in right here. And then stop browser. And then debug browser. And look at a message so you can see what the hell's going on here. Okay, right. So let's open up a message here. We'll go one more line down so that the message gets pointed to this pointer so we can take a look at it and start going through the data here. So you'll see here that we're instantly getting messages in. And one of the things we want to look at is, so the header is just going to tell us that there's no errors in it. And it should give us like the pointer record for it. This is the main record. But we're going to have two. We're going to have additional records and answers. And these are where the DNS records live for this auto discovery service. So if we look at answers, we're going to get the pointer record, and inside of here we should get the main piece of information. You'll see that this is the host name of the thing. You can see this is when it was created. You can see this is the domain name of it. This is the name of the service. You can see the time to live record, that's TTL, and then the type of record is a pointer record, right? And that's going to be our first record, but what we want is additional records. This is where it gets really interesting. This is where we can see here, first of all, the server record. The server record is really important because this tells us the port number that the service is running on. That will tell us how can we talk over the network to it, right? So that's important. But what the service record doesn't tell us is the actual IP address to talk to. It just gives us this vanilla host name that we're kind of hijacking. We don't want, for security reasons, we don't not necessarily to say what the host name is. So we're just going to make that up as the host name. But what we can do is look at the A record. The A record will give us the freaking IP address of what's going on here. So if we look here, there's the IP address of the actual host itself. And you can see here, this particular machine has multiple IP addresses. So that's my Mac Pro. And it does have multiple IP addresses because I have both Wi-Fi enabled right now and I have Ethernet. So I have two different IP addresses on this machine. So it's going to build two different A records for it. Now on top of that, AAA records, those are IP6. And so we basically get a text record, this is where we can ninja some pieces of memo data. This is where maybe you could tell like what map is being loaded or whether or not like something's ready or not. It is an additional piece of information that you can kind of put whatever you want inside of it. And it's really up to you to decide what you want to do and put inside of a text record. Now, Apple will put certain things inside of their text records. There's a blog article out on the internet where a guy talks about this. I got to find that blog article. I've looked at it multiple times. I don't know if I can find that now. Is it my history maybe? Do I have that? Or was I looking at it at work on my work browser? I was probably looking at my work browser. Let me see if I can find a link to it. Yeah, right here. This dude. I know that screen's really bright. It's burning my eyes, but okay. So he explains it here. A text record is the same as a server record. It can contain a small amount of information about the service instance, no more than 100 to 200 bytes at most. The record may be empty. He says in here, for example, a game could advertise the map being used in multiplayer, and chat program could advertise the availability to the user. But this is not available in Google's implementation of this, their network service discovery API, which uses the same technology. It's the same DNS stuff, right? And because Boncher is open source, and quite honestly, it's a RFC. There's two of them, I want to say. I don't remember if this article has the RFCs in it, but there are two RFCs for this because it's standard open. And so this is a really great blog article. It kind of explains how mDNS responder works. It tells you that, you have your core, your platform, then your application support. And you can see here that, it's giving you the information of like how this works. Apple's open source this is available in C. I have a .NET implementation of this, and that's what I'm using right now. I'm not using Apple's C and invoking that because, the .NET version works just fine. The .NET code, it's all just network socket code at some point in time, right? So as long as you understand network sockets, you're going to be fine. Uh-oh. 1 second here. What's my wife saying? Is everything okay? Worried about you freezing out there. Oh, fine. It's 73 degrees in here. Where's my camera? So you guys can see there's the temperature thermometer there, right there. 73 degrees Fahrenheit right now. It's not too bad. So okay, while we're debugging this is because I wanted to show you how this kind of works then, the magic behind this. And so really we're playing around with auto discovery via DNS. And so you get all kinds of cool information back from this. So that's the cool thing. And so I need information from the text record, the service record, and the A record. For Couchbase Lite specifically, if I'm going to want to go through and use peer-to-peer, which is a piece of technology built into it. And that's why you can see here, I get a pointer to the service record, the A record, and then the text record. The text record's optional. So quite honestly, like they said in that article, it's good to have, but when you look here, I just pulled a name out of it right now because that's what I'm currently setting inside of it. Just that, and I'm a little bit worried about using the text record because in fact I read that, but so far it seems to be working. So let's actually continue our debugging here. Sorry, we should be able to get the record for Android then. How do I get my debugger back up? 1 second here. Debug. There we go. Let's hit continue. We should have another message. Let's go through and see who this message is from. This message is from. We can look here. Who's it from? So this is from 77, which is the Android phone, I believe. Yeah, because it only has one A record. So this, you can see the IP address here. So this is the records that are coming back from Android. Now notice I got 15 records back from Mac, but look at this. I'm only getting 4 from Android, but I am getting the text record that I sent. So I'm actually kind of nice. My Android phone only has one IP6 IP address, so I'm getting one AAA record. I'm getting one A record because it's got one IP4 record. I'm getting a server record because that's how auto discovery works. Of course, that optional text record. And in here, we should have the name. The name should be set to just the host name that's running this, right? But I could put other information in there if I wanted to. So that's working. So my Android message is almost instantly too. So I think we can close this out because I think we can just go to here to continue and done. And we're getting records. So that's awesome. So that's auto discovery, man. And .NET, that's the ability for you to just basically write some code that makes it so that any platform can connect and talk to any other platform via local network with peer-to-peer technology. Because once you're running this, then you could just run a service on there and say, hey, look, I'll send you some information. You send me some information. And now you can get into messaging protocols. So I've got a couple favorites. If you've never been into this game before, my favorite, MQTT, is a pretty awesome messaging protocol. And it's pretty much a standard for IoT messages. This was made by NASA. Freaking NASA. Oh, my stream somehow has moved this stuff. Why is my stuff moving on the stream? Sorry about that. Made by NASA for publishing messages to satellites. Okay, folks, if this is good enough for NASA to publish messages to satellites, it's definitely good enough for your mobile apps and for IoT stuff. And you can see here, they show you how the MQTT client versus broker and a client on their side works. It's super awesome. It scales ridiculously good. And this will show you this will tell you the history behind it. And somewhere in here they'll tell you that I know for a fact NASA used this. Yeah. But that's not what I wanted. The Space Institute. Okay. Now they're not giving me this. Put it this way. I know for a fact that MQTT was used for them for communication. This article probably talks about it. If you Google this, you do some research, you'll find out that MQTT was used by NASA. It was pretty crazy amazing. It is a really great protocol. I've known about it for years. I don't remember when I learned MQTT. That's the only problem. Now I'm thinking about it here. I don't remember when I learned MQTT, but so that's a great messaging protocol. Another one is called RabbitMQ. Okay. And so if you're looking for a message queue system, RabbitMQ is another really great one. Both of these have support for most platforms. You're going to be able to get a library for it. Of course, it looks like they have a commercial version now. Of course, everybody's trying to do that. Let's see here. Where's their SDKs? They have Java, .NET. I know it from .NET, Python, PHP, JavaScript, Node, Go, iOS, and Android. Swift, it looks like, and then RabbitMQ on Android. More from the Rabbit. Oh, so they have it in 2 spots. I don't know why they have it in 2 spots. But as you can see here, if you are running a platform, you could probably use RabbitMQ. And RabbitMQ is another great way to send messages and data back and forth. I am a fan of RabbitMQ. It's pretty great. And if you're on Azure, there's obviously Azure's messaging queue. And here's its messaging services. Azure has one. AWS has 2 or 3. Google Cloud has one. It's really up to you what you want to use, just so you know. But that is, sorry, I was reading list view, so I can remember how to write list view earlier today. That's it, man. I've got this working. So that's what I want to do on a stream. I think it's about an hour and a half. It's a good amount of time to stream here. And I think this is a pretty cool thing. I can clean up this code a little bit, put it out in GitHub, and I'll probably add on to this code. I'm probably going to, now that I have this running, I'll probably combine this code into a single application that will talk to other applications and sync databases information, because I can. And I think that'd be kind of cool. So I think that that'd be a cool example of is using like Couchbase Lite Enterprise and use that to peer-to-peer sync information. And this means that you could literally bypass the need for anything like iCloud, and it's cross-platform, right? It works on Android and iOS. Why would you want to do this? Where are the examples? A lot of the examples are in enterprise for IoT. You have a bunch of sensors running on the floor. You want those to sync up to, they may not have an internet device, right? But you have a tablet and you're walking by. You sync that information to the device, to the tablet, and then the tablet is connected to the internet. What this does is this keeps all your IoT equipment, like this one right here. This little fancy board right here. Show up to you. This is a nice little IoT device here. Runs .NET. You can run .NET code on it. It's made by Wilderness Labs. It's a pretty great little piece of equipment. It gives you a bunch of little headers here that you can plug in for things like temperature sensors. You could I have a sensor that will tell you of proximity. I've got a oxygen level sensor. I've got a bunch of sensors. I've got a whole box somewhere around here of IoT sensors for this, because I used to do a lot of IoT work. It just needs a little tiny USB micro power supply, and it's 5 volts. And anyways, this could run that code, right? So this could literally be my sensor that I've got some IoT stuff on it. I could pass some messages over to this Android device, and this Android device then could be syncing that information over to the internet. So maybe this IoT device is custom ESP or a DSP, and maybe it's really, really, really slow. It's so it's only like 4 megahertz or something like that. And so then you wouldn't want to run a SQLite database on there. You just want to send messages and collect that on some other device. So that's where you get a messaging protocol like MQTT or something like that involved. That it send messages over to this whatever device that's going to listen to it, and then it would collect that, put it into its local database, and send that off to the internet and sync it up. But either way, I've got a ton of these kind of things. I don't have just this. There's another one. I'll dig on my IoT drawer of all the equipment I've used throughout the years. I've got an NVIDIA device, the same one that they used to use in the old Teslas. I've got one of those, a Tegra, I think it was called. I've got I can't think of the name of that device now that runs Wi-Fi on it though, but I really love it. This one, this one does not have Wi-Fi built into it. So you have to wire up some stuff in order to get it to talk on a network, which is my only gripe against it. But the other one I have does have Wi-Fi on it, and it's badass awesome. I've run a lot of prototypes for that. And of course, you could just use a Raspberry Pi if you want. Those are usually 40 or 50 bucks. This was 10 bucks, I think. So, I mean, it's like, and this is more likely what you're going to have on a floor for doing some kind of sensor on like a beer vat that's, testing telling you your yeast level on your brewery, right? those kind of things. I mean, seriously, that stuff exists. I say that as a sarcastic joke, but that's actually real. Your refrigerator, right? In big places, they want to people walk into the refrigerator and leave the door open too long. So they'll have a sensor that says, hey, the refrigerator door's been open longer than 30 seconds. In big factories where you're trying to keep stuff cool and you can have food spoil and get contaminated stuff, 30 seconds is a pretty long time. So having a sensor that tells someone, hey, moron, close the door is important. All these things are a possibility. So that's the reason why apps like this get written and why they exist. And I have more experience in writing enterprise apps like this than anything else, because that's pretty much what I've done most of my career is write these kind of things. So, folks, I want to thank you for joining me here. If you're watching a video on demand, I hope you enjoyed this. I will get some code up onto the internet very shortly on this. We'll get this checked in, and we're gonna super jump this thing. It's going to be super awesome. So tomorrow's lunch stream, I'll probably be working on this just because I want to get it done by this weekend. I don't think it's all that crazy hard to get the rest of the stuff working on this. I mean, this is not a huge amount of code. You can see here, it's just a single page, and really the view model is pretty small. So I could wrap this into a service. Take both the this out and the advertiser out. So combine these into one big app, and wrap that into a service so that you could do both browsing and advertising at the same time, because every host could also be a receiver, right? So you could be a host and a client. You could be a client and a server at the same time, basically. It's peer-to-peer. So because of that, we want to have the ability to do both of those things. Have everybody discover everybody and make some decisions based on that. So, all right, folks, I'm going to stop chatting here and I'm going to get back into the warm house. But I do want to thank you again for coming along with me on the journey. I'm hoping to show you a bunch of more stuff and maybe teach you some stuff on networking. And you guys have a great night, and I'll see you again tomorrow. Take care.